Today my video is about prediction. I am going to talk about the general fields of prediction that we use in India and all over the world. Though astrology was originally used by our ancestors, Indian scholars, it is in Vedas. Now it has become a field of study all over the world. Especially in USA, there are universities that are offering courses on astrology, numerology, vastu, and any other prediction sciences. They have doctorates also. And I was surprised to find that they are even learning Sanskrit and reading the Vedas. They are following our religious situations, religious ceremonies also. They are lighting the lamp, they are burning the incense, they are always keeping the lamp in the house, and they are following all our rituals. Indians are discarding our culture. Even Brahmins are not actually taking any effort to retain our culture, our religious ceremonies. Some of them, not all. So you can understand how other castes would be. Okay, so these sciences are there, they are sciences only. But the person who is predicting may not be able to get the full knowledge of it. He may be experimenting with it just for making his livelihood. Or those people who really know the science also are misrepresenting it or withholding the knowledge and misguiding the public only to earn their livelihood. Even if we ask an astrologer to draw our chart and give us our prediction about future, they are giving in bits and pieces only. They are offering only remedies, because through remedies they are supposed to be authorized to give remedies, and so they demand huge amount of money. Sometimes in lakhs of rupees they are demanding. Or even for a small remedy like a thread to be worn around the neck or hand, or any sort of trinkets they are giving, they are taking a lot of money, saying that it has got magical power. It is put in the puja, this, that, and all that is nonsense. All that is nonsense. They are earning huge amount of money through astrology, through prediction techniques. But we can study it on our own. I did it on my own because I studied a PhD. I have always been very meritorious. I am dedicated to my education. I was always a meritorious candidate and I got National Merit Scholarship. But in spite of it, I could not get a government job. And I have always been on and off in jobs also due to various reasons. I have not worked in a single institution for a long time. Every year there is change. And I tried to establish my own coaching center, but though I established and ran it for 15 years, I could not make much money. So I got frustrated and I started studying astrology in my 50th year. Then I was astonished to find the results. According to my horoscope, I have Jupiter and Saturn in my 7th house. So, marriage is not suitable or not profitable for me. So, my husband passed away in my 44th year, and as long as he was alive also, he was not at all looking after me. He was not financially well off and he was also not responsible. So I decided not to have children. So I always used to find fault with my husband, but that is not his fault. It is my chart. Whoever is my husband, he would be like that only. Because I have Jupiter and Saturn in my 7th house. Jupiter gives us wisdom. He makes us traditional. He makes us wise. But Saturn creates limitations on our work, on our finances, on our progress. That is because of my past birth sins. So this is true. I was astonished to find this. So those people who think that they have a great future in life, in future, who live on dreams, should study their own horoscope on their own or get a proper reader to make them aware of their faults, make them aware of their problems according to their horoscope. And another thing is, as per my horoscope, in my 3rd house, I have Mars. I have Mars in my 3rd house. And so my siblings are not at all cooperative with me. They are always against me. They seek my death. Though under the protection of my parents, we were all brought up in the same household, but after my marriage, they became violent towards me. They have no respect for me. They are always jealous of me. For something or the other, there is no reason for it. I was educated, I was traditional, I was never against the society. I got married traditionally. I lived with my husband traditionally. I never had any sort of bad habits. In spite of it, they were against me for no reason. That is also because of my horoscope only. So I am giving it as an example of what we can get through our reading. So I am not going to give the whole horoscope, my whole horoscope. It is of no use to anyone. This is only an example. So what people have to understand is, by means of positive thinking, don't daydream. Whatever is in store for you, our life is pre-planned, pre-designed, predestined. We cannot escape it. Try to understand that. So make a horoscope, read it on your own, then try to get just an outline of your life. Which field you will be successful, how far you will be successful. So don't keep high hopes on those fields where you will not be successful. So first house is meant for our self, how our self will be, depending upon the planet that is placed in our first house. There are 12 houses. There are 12 houses, and in the 12 houses, each planet will have a placement. And so in the first house, depending upon the planet that is placed in the first house, we will be able to understand what type of image we will give to the society, how the people around us will look at us. That is first house. In second house, we will find our personal positions, how wealthy we will be, how our finances will be, how our values will be, whether we will be traditional or radical, those things. In the third house, we will have communication skills and our siblings, about our relationship with our siblings, and about our research interest. So third house tells us about our siblings. Fourth house, depending upon the planet in the third house, whether it is positive or negative. In the fourth house, we know about our home family situation. So that's what I told you. In my fourth house, my family situation was not good, is not good. Depending upon the planet in our fifth house, we will know about a romance, what we have to expect from romance, our creativity. In my fifth house, I have Mars and Rahu. This is most dangerous. That is why I don't have children. So, in the fifth house, whatever we have in the fifth house, depending upon the fifth house, we will know about our children, the way the children will treat us, whether we will have children or not, whether we will have problem in our pregnancy, all this will be there in the 5th house. What type of romantic relationship we will have also will be in the 5th house. And in the 6th house, work health. What type of work we will have? What type of relationship we will have with our colleagues? I always have problem with my colleagues out of jealousy, they say, we think. But it is not jealousy, it is actually our destiny. So in my 6th house, I always have problem with my colleagues. That is why I have to leave my job place. Very often I have to shift my job. It may be our seniors, it may be our management or our chairman or the head of the department or our immediate colleagues or the students. In my case, the students, all of them are against me because I am very strict. That is not the correct thing. That I am strict, that I am very disciplined is not the answer. In my 6th house, I have problem, and that is why I have problem with my work culture. In my 7th house, we have marriage and partnerships. So I have Venus in my 7th house. Venus in 7th house is not suitable for marriage. Generally, Venus is supposed to be promoter of marriage or our romance. But it is his native place. 7th house is his original native place. But his Venus in 7th house gives more problems than happiness. We will get married at the right time. There will be right marital situation. Proper situation will be there. Proper family life will be there. But there will be problems with the partner. There will be misunderstandings. There will be dissatisfaction. There will be lack of compatibility. Sometimes there will be lack of compatibility. There will be financial problems. All that will be there. All that I suffered because I have Venus in my 7th house. But if you have Venus in 7th house, there will be many marriage proposals. This is also a hindrance to your progress. All people will think about you in a romantic manner. They want you as a sexual partner, but they will not give you any financial security. And then in 7th house, 8th house, we come to know about our shared responsibilities, resources, transformation. What type of sharing we will have with others, whether it is taking a rent house or sharing a property or sharing something in work house, whatever it is, depending upon the planets in our 7th house, we will come to know about this problem or this advantage. 9th house indicates our higher education, depending upon the planet. And then in the 10th house, depending upon the planets, we come to know about our career and progress and legacy. What type of property we can get, whether we can really get property from others, from our ancestors, from other people, unknown property, our hitting the lottery, all these we can understand from 10th house. From our 11th house planets, we come to know about our social networks and friends. How successful we will be through our social networks. From our 12th house, we come to know about our spirituality, our attachment with the other world, our inner nature, our other world relationship. So 12th house indicates our actual passage into other world. The last house, it ultimately depicts the nature of our death, our ultimate spirituality, our goal. What is our purpose in this life, in this world? Why we are born into this world? So this is a general outline. You can get, everybody can read it like that. Make a chart, go to prokirala.com and get your computerized online horoscope. It's accurate, but the accuracy depends on The time and the place also, not only date of birth. It does not mean only month, year and date. It is also accuracy of the time. That is very important. Only then we can understand which planet is favorable to us, which planet is detrimental to us. So it is very important to know the time of birth accurately. That is not possible because these days people born, the children born in 20th century have the advantage of having their automatic recording of the birth of the child. The child's voice is heard in the laboratory, the operations house, in the hospital, then it is recorded. That is to some extent okay. And that is available, we can get a proper prediction. But many people are not able to give the prediction for various reasons. Either they may not have the proper education, they don't have the knowledge, proper knowledge, or they don't have the actual interest in the person whose horoscope they are reading. Through various reasons, we are not getting the proper horoscope reading. And another thing is, in horoscope reading, we can't get the death date. Date timing is not so easy. It's not at all possible as far as I know. Nobody was able to give the proper date and the time of the death and the growth, proper time of the marriage, all that they are not able to give. So we can get a just outline. And as far as palmistry is concerned, depending upon the 3 lines or 5 lines or mounts, there also the same mounts are there, the same planets have force on the mounts, we can predict. Very often, by keeping both horoscope and palmistry, we can arrive at some conclusion about what age we can expect some important phases of our life, like marriage, childbirth, death, establishment or buying a house or constructing a house, establishing our livelihood, getting a job. These major events we can predict through our horoscope, our palmistry. And there is another science called numerology. Through numerology also, we can predict the nature of the person. We can predict the mentality of the person. We can predict what other people will be suitable to that person in communication or in marriage. And Chinese are also using the blood groups for prediction of compatibility between the parents of a child or marriage partners. That is also suitable. So we must consult all these sources or study all these sources on our own and try to come to an idea of our future. This will be very helpful to everybody. So after coming to know about this, some people are saying that they disregard or don't want to consult, or they don't want it. It is wrong. They don't trust it. They don't believe it. This is cheating. This is deception. And those people who come to know that the life is not going to be successful are not giving the proper date of birth also. Be careful about it. When you go for marriage, they are not giving the proper date of birth. This is also a danger. So we can't depend upon what other people tell about their date of birth. We can understand our own life. So from that we can predict that other person. We have to come to terms with it. We have to accept our destination and whatever is given to us. So don't depend upon other people. Don't depend upon other people's, the partner's horoscope. Think about your horoscope and start life.